get ready with me. As you all know, I haven't done a get ready with me on this account as I opened it. So get ready with me as I tell you a little bit about myself. Okay, so number one, I'm a Lillian. If you don't know, I love running. Like I love running, honestly. But I feel like sometimes I can be a little unfit. Like I haven't been training and I'm not in my best era for running. So we don't speak about that. And I'm also a poetry writer. I love writing poems. I love reading poems. Um, I love reading my own poems. That makes sense. Like honestly, if it's like a Shakespeare poem or another person's poem, I wouldn't love it as much as reading my own poems. So genuinely, I like reading my own poems. So poems that I write. I'm not a big fan of reading books, but I love reading books I write. If you get what I mean. I've written like 3 books, but I haven't published any of them. I've only published like one book because I'm so lazy, genuinely. But that's not a good trait to have. Like you can't be lazy. Do you know what I mean? Okay, and I also love making bracelets. As you can see, I have a lot on my wrists that I just took off. I love wearing scrunchies. What am I saying? But I love wearing scrunchies and I love daydreaming, genuinely. I also love running, as I said. I also love doing netball, trying out new sports and stuff. That's something I genuinely like doing. And I think that's about it that I like doing. Another thing that I love doing that most people probably wouldn't love doing as much as I do is writing. Writing. People say they could genuinely never ever write their feelings down. And yeah, when I say people, I'm not speaking about all people because genuinely I know journaling is good. Um, but yeah, and things that I hate is I hate being lied to, especially if I understand, especially if I know the truth and I ask you, like, did you do this? And you would, no, I didn't, I wasn't even here. Like, and I ask you again, did you do this? And you lie again. Like, genuinely, that makes me so mad because why are you lying? And I'll be like, but then, genuinely, I also lie, but my lies are rage bait. They're not like, do you know what I mean? I'll just be rage baiting you with my lies, and you pretty much know that I'm lying, but sometimes you can't even tell that I'm lying. So that's another thing. But obviously, if you can tell, then I'll always come clean. If you get what I mean. Because then why are you lying? Oh yeah, where was I? Forgot now. About the rage bait parts, yeah. So sometimes you can't even tell whether I'm lying or not, and you believe me. But then I'll feel bad, so then I'll be like, okay, I'm lying. That never happened. But sometimes I won't be, because like we need a good story for catch. You know what I mean? And I'm really good at making stories out my head. So generally, if we sit in a group and we need something interesting, I'll probably say something that happened to me but didn't actually happen, but it did happen, but I'm just adding more spice to it, you know what I mean? So adding extra seasons. Oh yes, and this happened, and people would genuinely enjoy that, and I'm like, oh well, it's okay, we don't want to ruin the story, so we don't have to tell them it was false, you know what I mean? So that is making the story more spicy. Another thing that I don't like is when we're teachers and they promise you something and you remind them about it and they flat out deny it, because why'd you make a promise if you knew you weren't gonna do it? Like, hello? What happened to keeping our promises? Or when they snitch on you to your parents and they be adding extra spice you didn't even know you did. That's like, I don't know why teachers do that genuinely, because like when they tell your parents and then they be like, oh yeah, and she never listens to class, she's always walking around, she's always talking. But mind you, you never really walk around in class, maybe always talking. They be adding extra seasonings to the lie. That's something I don't like, because if you're gonna snitch on me, at least tell the truth. And then when you don't speak to them the next day, they're wondering, oh, why are you not speaking to me? Isn't that obvious? You snitched on me! And another thing I don't like is when I'm doing something, or I think then someone's like, oh, do you like doing that? That could never be me. Yeah, that's why you're not me. Isn't that obvious? Like, hello. Or talking about something like, I could never do something like that. Okay, what do you want me to do? Be a trophy? Like, okay. Then I'd be like, why are you telling me this? Or when they be like, to be honest, I could never really run a mile, and I don't know how people do that. Like, okay, no worries, that's fine. Another thing that pisses me off is when you get into an argument and all they can use is your physical appearance. Like, why are you doing that? Because we both know that making these. Another thing, when people believe basic useless rumors about you without even asking you about it, and that genuinely just like, why are you doing that? You and I both know that's not true, so why are you believing it? Or another thing, when you're having a fight with someone and then they go around telling everybody what happened, making it seem like you're the problem for the fight. Like, girl, you both now not the problem for the fight. Why are you lying? Why are you making this up? Or when they make up things you never even said just to make you look bad. Okay, so genuinely, I don't know why people do that. Genuinely, no. When you break up a friendship first and then you go around telling people that the other person broke it up first. Okay, so genuinely, that's not how. That's no way to go if you want to still be friends with that person. Another thing is bringing other people into your arguments. Like genuinely, you could be walking and then one of your friends come up to you asking why you did this to a friend. And I understand that could be another reason, but if it's just like over a stupid fight and you adding in a bunch of people in it, genuinely you're just the baby. Because what do you mean? Tell me you can't solve your own problems that you need to tell a bunch of people about so they could defend you? And when you try to give your side of the story, they always say my ego's too big. No, your ego is not just too big. You just don't know how to take accountability and apologize for your action. Because it could be like you're the reason of the problem, but you don't know how to apologize. Genuinely, I don't care what you say, whether or not you do or do not know how to apologize. If you genuinely at fault, you have to pull up your pants and apologize because we both know that you're in the wrong right now. So there's no excuse for not apologizing. Whether you have a big ego or not, big egos don't last. Because just now, what happens then? What happens then? You lose all your friends. Where's your big ego then? So genuinely, if you're at fault, whether you like it or not, whether you said something in anger, you were angry and you don't believe you're at fault, and you know what you said wasn't good or was not right, you have to apologize because you're at fault here. And I think a big part is genuinely being friends who know when they are at fault and who will apologize. Those friends help you grow. So yeah, so genuinely, if you don't know how to apologize, Lord help you because you're gonna need to do a lot of apologizing in the future. And then I love the way people just be rude to people for no reason, not knowing that not knowing that one day you might end up working for someone's company, and then what? And then what are you gonna be? A cleaner? You're working for them in their office, mind you. You bullied them. Oh, where are you at now? Where are you at? That's why I say, no matter whether you know or do not know someone, you are obliged to be nice to them, whether you like them or not. Because if someone didn't do anything to you, why are you being mean to them? Like, what did they do to you for you to react in that way? And if you genuinely just don't like someone, that's okay. Like, it's okay to not like someone, but at the end of the day, you have to be respectful. Because if they didn't do nothing to you and you just don't like them, that's on you. But it doesn't mean it gives you the right to disrespect someone. That don't work like that. It doesn't work like that. It don't work like that. Mm-mm. The thing that get on my nerves, when someone thinks they're smart, that means they can treat you however you want. That doesn't sit right with me because just because you're smart doesn't mean you can call me stupid just because you're smarter than me. That will be the most, and it's not everyone, but it's not everybody because most of the smart people are very nice. But there's some smart people who just be rude about being smart and be like, "Shut up! Last time I checked, I was in the tip. Last time I checked, I was in the top 10 and not you." Like, what do you want me to do? Give you a trophy? Mind you, these are the same people who don't even have any friends. What's it like? Being smart and not having friends? Like, let's be so for real. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad thing to be smart. I'm saying, like, be nice when you're smart. Just because you're smart doesn't mean you have to be cocky now. Like, hello? What happened to some, hi, hello, good day? What happened to your basic manners of being nice to other people? Do you know what I mean? But if you say to the end, like and comment and tell me one thing that gets on your nerves. Okay, bye.